As promised, I'm bringing you the video from day 2 of the doubleheader, which is the OVKA 2021 season 5th race. This is the pre-final. We'd already qualified earlier in the day. My kart was going good this day. We had 22 racers in the field, and I qualified 7th. So I'm rolling off in pretty prime position right here. And I have to say, I was relatively excited that I was this far up in the field, in the grid. As I thought, I've got a chance maybe to crack into the top 5 on one of these races. But my kart was running pretty well. I had backed off my brakes a little bit more. I think I mentioned that in my video yesterday, or from yesterday's race, or I guess race 4, that I had some, what I thought were some brake issues. So again, I backed my pads off my rotor a little bit further, had a little bit of bigger air gap between the two, and kart seemed to roll a little freer around some of this. So we're off. I am still holding point on my 7th place position. The 5th and 6th place guys almost get a little swap going on there, but everybody falls in line, and we're off to the races. Prior to this race, I did not have a good handle on that last little zigzag section back there called the bus stop. But I followed some of these faster guys around a little earlier in my practice and learned a little off of them. Took note of what line they were taking and tried to follow the same line. And you can't always tell when you're out on the track if it's faster or slower. But it turned out that my times were pretty good, so I continued using, I guess, what I would consider, for me, a new line through the bus stop area. And we're about to come up to it. This left, I kind of took it where everybody else pretty much takes it. And I did that much differently than I used to. I used to try to take that more as a straight shot. But I have abandoned that approach. So I'm hanging tough here behind the 53. We still have the leaders, they are within sight. They're kind of jockeying around for position up there, so they're not turning probably their fastest laps as if they were on a qualifying run or something there. Their laps are going to be a little slower when they have to, when someone cuts underneath somebody and they have to kind of ease off to get back in line and that kind of stuff. So I think the 16 has got up in the front, and as per the usual, as they would say, he starts to stretch out a gap on the rest of us guys behind him. So now we've got about 2nd through, I believe I'm in 7th place at this stage. 2nd through 7, we're all within eyesight. I think there's actually a pretty decent gap behind me now. I don't really have any pressure coming from behind. And as you saw, I caught up to the 53 in a wrong spot, gave him a little bump, which gave him momentum and pushed me back and opened up a gap, but I was able to close it back up pretty quick. So this is only an 8-lapper. That's the pre-final, as I mentioned. Again, I'm not really trying to go hog wild here. I'm just hanging behind the 53. I can see the leaders up there, so that's comforting to me, I'm hoping that when they get racy, that maybe, that'll keep them within touch. And I'm now trying to figure out when and how I can try to get past the 53. He's going pretty good, but I was catching up to him now. I totally screwed up right there. I thought maybe I could duck under him right there, and as we got to that little turtle, you saw that it was not going to happen, and I had to brake a little bit, and he shot way out in front of me. I was slightly nervous that there was somebody behind me and that was going to be able to overtake me as well, and then I'd end up having to try to get past 2 people. But that wasn't the case, and now I need to just try to get back up to where I was. I was gaining on the 53 through that section right there. My kart was handling well. It was going through all of the turns, I thought, pretty well. At least the best that I've ever driven in. I'm sure there's probably some room for improvement, but this was going pretty good for me. Again, I was able to knock off some distance right there, and he's now not too far ahead of me, and I'm not so worried again that I got dusted. So now I'm right up to him. Again, I think he's right around in 6th, I'm in 7th, and I think there's a pretty substantial gap to the next position. And both of us obviously can still see that a good chunk of the leaders are still right there in front of us. With a few laps to go, we could try to run these guys down. So I thought I'd try to peek under there, but he had good straightaway speed. I wasn't going to get past him right there. He goes through there pretty good. Again, I'm able to usually kind of come up on him right there. And now, again, we're just wailing on him. And he'll probably see this video, so it'll be some good little R&D on him. He can see how his cart's handling, see if it's lifting up, if he's getting good with, wheel jacking. Now I duck under. I'm going to try to stuff it. He gives me plenty of room, which I appreciated. And now, again, I can still see those leaders right in front of me. Now, we just got the white flag, so there was some confusion about to happen. I thought we were on the last lap. Everybody in front of me thought we were on the last lap. And I'm like, awesome, I've got 6th place wrapped up here. I didn't crash. My kart seems to be pretty fast, and I'm feeling good. And I did not notice that he was waving a white flag. I let off the gas. I'm like, oh, good, the race is over. I got 6th place. Come around here. Fortunately, everybody else kind of went through there, and I followed suit. I didn't cut anything. My man there in 5th place, he's just chilling. And then we kind of realized, hey, we need to keep going, I guess. So I didn't really try to get past him because I figured he was confused. I was slightly confused. I had still not really realized that they waved the white flag again. I didn't understand why everybody was still racing. And so I just hopped back on it. I didn't want anybody behind me to get past me. And they probably wouldn't have gone past me because they saw what happened too. And I just wanted to make sure I stayed close to him just in case somebody was trying to take advantage. But everybody was cool. So the race still finished out the way it finished out on the lap before. Anyways, I'll be back for the final. That was a fun race, I thought.